Well, Mid South. I mean, I tell you, I give Bill Watts credit more than anybody in my career for what I know about the wrestling industry. In my opinion, there's not a guy sharper in terms of his understanding of the psychology of what we do. And now, I granted, Mid South was 4 states: Oklahoma, Arkansas, Louisiana, Mississippi, and yeah, we had some long trips, but and we, and there were days when we had to stay over, but we were never, we were never like away from home where we're just totally gone for like a whole week. I mean, you might be gone a day, you might be gone 2. At the most, I'd say maybe 3 before you could get back to wherever your base was, wherever you were staying. Now, you might still be wrestling every night, and we wrestled every night, but at least you had the day at home, and you were around your family. Once the WWF thing, it's like when you leave, you're gone. You're not back home for 3 weeks. You're not back home for 10 days. Mid South was not like that. I mean, you're driving your own car. And you, basically, if you wanted to, you could go home every night if you wanted. It didn't make sense, but you could if you wanted to.
And we recently just talked to Jerry Stubbs, who had some very, very nice things to say about you. So there's a little blast from the past.
Yeah, Jerry's a great guy.
Now, down there in Mid-South, I just had to mention, obviously, the feud with JYD, which was once upon a time feud of the year in the early 80s. And, again, you had another feud of the year in Mid-South with Jim Duggan. Are those some of your fondest memories in the business? Was it those 2 huge feuds that kind of put you on the map, if you will, in the wrestling business?
Yeah. I mean, the first major main event of my life, I wrestled Harley Race at the Kiel Auditorium, St. Louis, and I can't remember exactly. I can't remember what year that was, but it was the first major main event, world championship match, sellout crowd. St. Louis was like a hub. If you got recognized in St. Louis, everybody was going to hear about you, and it was kind of like, look out for this kid. Here he comes. He's got a future. And but yeah, Mid South and me turning heel, was huge. It was a big step, and I went on from there. I went to Georgia and was a heel there, and then I came back, and I stayed a heel until Bill Watts turned me babyface again, and I teamed up with Steve Williams. There, the last little bit of my run in Mid South before going to the WWF and becoming the $1 Million Man. But yeah, I mean that it set the stage for me, because I really believe that Vince brought me in as this heel because he saw the kind of heel I had been. In other words, I was the kind of heel, even though you didn't call me the $1 Million Man, I talked down to the crowd. I was the heel who talked real big. I'd show you I could wrestle, but when somebody would actually confront me, you become the coward, the bully. I'm a bully. And you never get tired of seeing a bully get his butt kicked. And JBL is the cowboy version of me. Talks real big, and then somebody confronts him, and he goes, "Oh yeah, maybe not now," and then and then takes the cheap shots. In our in the dialogue, we call him in wrestling terminology, the best heel is the chicken shit heel, because you never tire of him getting his butt kicked.